Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be covering the 5 levels of training from newbie to master and teaching you what new methods of training you'll be unlocking at each stage. So, stick around till the end and I'll break down practically how you can progress from one to the other and when you can expect that to happen. Let's get straight into it. So newbie, there isn't really much to talk about in this phase of your lifting because it can be pretty boring and mundane. First of all, there's something called newbie gains for a reason. You can make muscle no matter what you do. So during this, your training seems pretty easy. It could just be 3 sets of 12, 4 sets of 12, 4 sets of 10, whatever you want. And these will let you build muscle very easily. In fact, you'll build the most muscle you ever will during your newbie phase. However, this 3 sets of 12 will only last you so long before you need to train harder, and that is what I'm going to teach in a bit. This is usually 0 to 3 months of training, maybe 0 to 2. After 2 or 3 months, you need to move on to the beginner stage, and here is what it entails. The progressive overload methodology, and I'm going to be showing you my method on how you can progressively overload. So, take a weight that you could do for 8 reps. Got it? On a certain exercise. And keep doing that weight until you can achieve 15 reps with that weight. Once you can do more than 15 reps, lower the weight, increase the weight to a weight that you can only do 8 reps of, and keep building the cycle. Keep letting your strength grow and let your body progress with it. So another aspect of beginner training is beginning to track workouts. This is hugely important for the progressive overload methodology because we can't expect you to remember all of these lifts and sets and reps. However, when you track your workouts, we can. And another benefit, this adds a lot more motivation and discipline and routine. And these are great factors that you want to have around you if you want to progress truly. Now, after 6 months, we'll move on to intermediate territory. So, 6 months of training and you're entering intermediate, which is where you'll be meeting your first advanced training tactics. The first of these is supersets. Supersets are huge because a superset is basically you do one exercise followed directly by another. And let's say you have a bicep exercise and a tricep exercise. This will save you a lot of time because you can rest from one while doing the other. And for example, let's say you have a same muscle superset, for example, leg extensions and leg press. Then, in that case, you're giving your muscle pre-exhaustion so you can go beyond failure. And that is where we can draw the line really between intermediate and advanced, is how often you reach failure, but we'll talk about that more when we reach advanced. The other technique that you can use in intermediate is drop sets. And drop sets is basically when you do a certain set of weight and reps until failure usually, maybe not, but then you drop the weight and you can do more reps with a lower weight. With that, you're virtually going beyond failure, even though you're probably not achieving failure just yet. So, the other thing in intermediate is also more focus on the eccentric. Before, you could just kind of pump out reps like this and your body would be none the wiser. But once you reach this 6-month mark, you have to start implementing eccentric focus, which eccentric is basically just the negative on lifts. So let's say I shoulder press, boom, slowly down, like this. This allows you to provide a greater stimulus to your muscles, and this is what will make the difference between beginner and intermediate training. Finally, after about 1.5 to 2 years of training, you can reach advanced territory. This is where your training begins to be very hard, but also very fun. This is reaching failure consistently. Pretty much every set is done to failure after 2 years of training, which very few people do achieve that after 2 years of training. However, that is my expectation. That is what I have achieved. And I think it's pretty mandatory to reach failure consistently on nearly every exercise. Another technique we can implement is rest pause sets. This is basically a rest pause set is when you do a set to failure and then you wait 10 seconds and do the same set to failure and keep going until you pretty much can't do any reps. This is incredibly advanced, but not until you can't pretty much do any reps, until you can do very little. So let me give you a practical example of how I do this. So I do this in leg extensions. Let's say I do a set of 90 kilos for 12 reps. I wait 10 seconds, and then I do it for 10 more reps. I wait another 10, and I hit 10 more reps. I wait another 10, I hit 8, so on, so on. Eventually, after about 8 or 9 sets of this, I can only hit 2 reps, and that's where I call it quits. Because anything under 3 reps then is not useful anymore. Finally, we can move on to master territory. Master territory is typically achieved after 5 years of training, and the only new thing you'll be adding is mechanical failure. The failure we talked about in advanced territory is known as technical failure, because you can't do another rep with proper technique. Mechanical failure is simply you can't move the weight. And there are several ways we can reach mechanical failure. The first one is partial reps. Partial reps are basically after you can't do a single full rep anymore, you start doing half reps. When you can't do those, you start doing quarter reps. And once you can't do quarter reps, you pretty much can't move the weight anymore. Then there's also assisted reps, where after you can't do a single other rep, someone helps you and they help you get the bar up or the bench up just a little more, you know? So those two ways can help you achieve mechanical failure. After you achieve mechanical failure and you can't do the rep anymore, you can also implement an isometric hold where you just hold the weight and let your muscle contract for one final time when you're already at failure. And it's excruciating, but it gives a whole different kind of muscle stimulus that most people aren't accustomed to. So, yeah, that's it for this video. This was the 5 levels of training from newbie to master. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in what I do and would like to learn more about fitness, I have a paid fitness community where I teach everything about fitness. And yeah, that's it for this video. See ya.